Hello and welcome to the second part of our exploration of Alexa and artificial intelligence generally on the computer. And this time I am going to focus much more closely on the needs of the carer and the loved one with dementia, and we will get down to that fairly closely. But first of all, let's start with a peek of the principal members of the Alexa family. Why the name Alexa, by the way? Well, the idea was to design a wake-up word which was easiest for the machine to recognize, with the X sound in it being key. But why all the fuss about Alexa? Well, let me just remind you just how easy it is to misunderstand incoming language, particularly when it's out of context. Here's a famous example of a hymn title which children constantly get confused. Gladys the Cross-Eyed Bear. And it should be, of course, Gladly the Cross-Eyed Bear. Here are the three main versions of Alexa. The Dot, which was the little one, the Alexa, which was the main machine, and the Echo Show, which is, I suppose, Alexa with a pretty screen stuck onto it. Which do I recommend you to choose for your home use? I would say the Alexa Dot. And there are two reasons. One, it's the cheapest. And secondly, and far more importantly, it's the least hassle for the cognitively charged challenge one to use. People with dementia soon find the easiest controls challenging and confuse one with another. And that is not likely to happen with the Dot. Let me just remind myself of the occasion when I came into the home cinema room to find a hideous noise coming out of the Boyer and Wilkins speakers. My wife had switched the sound on full accidentally, and we won't remind ourselves of the cost of putting that little peccadillo right. Prevention is better than cure, and a lot cheaper. Let's start by being a little bit controversial, shall we? I believe it's wrong to work this way round. Here we have a brand new toy, bright new toy. What use for the loved one can we make of it? Let's work the other way around. Here we have a person with dementia. How can we best meet their needs? Many moons ago, I used to work indirectly for Alan Sugar, editing his official Amstrad PCW magazine, and he was the master of the rule that you should use the cheapest, least technological kits you could acquire to do the job. And focus on the needs of the user, not the designer or the supplier. It's like the famous story of NASA and the trouble they had getting biros to work in zero gravity. So they spent millions trying to make one, until the Russians pointed out that they used instead a pencil. So then, let's have a look with my starting points for using Alexa. Your loved one needs, amongst other things, calm, security and routine. And let's see how Alexa can fit into those requirements. Calm. Well, there's a famous line by a character in a play by William Congreve from 1697. Music hath charms to soothe the savage breast. And music certainly can have a calming effect on people with dementia, and also to help them recollect things that have happened to them in their past. You can get Alexa to access music of all shapes and sizes, mostly without having to pay a premium. There are 3 basic ways of doing this. You ask for a particular track, you ask for a streaming selection of music of a particular type, or you ask for a radio station. Q Echo Dot. Right, I have got my little dot with me. Here we are. Plonk her down on the desktop. Start with a single track. Here is, I think, the archetypal student union pop music. Alexa, play Come Up and See Me, Make Me Smile.
Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me, and similar songs on Amazon Music.
You've done it all. You've broken every code. Appalled the rebel to the floor.
And of course, if this goes on for too long or you don't like it after all, remember those magic words which I told you about in the first video. Alexa, stop. Secondly, you can have a certain type of music. Let us try Alexa, play classical piano music.
The station, classical piano on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. And thirdly, radio station, let's go for Smooth FM. Alexa, play Smooth FM.
Smooth Scotland from Global Player.
Live life to the fullest once again. Call or go online today to book your free consultation. Optical Express.
Optical Express. On your radio.
On Global Player.
And on
Alexa, stop. There's another extremely valuable feature of this young lady. She can read stories, either from the Audible versions, which Amazon supports in huge numbers, or she can go to out of copyright books and stream them straight from the text. Here's an example of Dickens being read to you. You'll notice that I'd already started reading this short story, and she's brainy enough to continue from the point at which I left off. Alexa, read A Christmas Carol.
Resuming Rex's most recent book, A Christmas Carol, read with Kindle Assistive Reader. It's only once a year, sir, pleaded Bob, appearing from the tank. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Alexa, stop. Security is another aspect which can be extremely valuable, particularly as there are always, it seemed to me anyway, a constant stream of social workers and community mental health team members and doctors and nurses coming to the house. The front doorbell is a good example of this technology, where you can get a modern front doorbell which has a camera in it, And the idea behind the security bell is that you could look to see whether somebody was coming up the drive who did not ought to be coming up the drive. Unfortunately, I understand that in some cases thieves got so annoyed at the fact that they couldn't actually break in that they stole the front doorbell and the camera. I suggest that you look at the worksheet for further information about security. Routine. This is something which is extremely important for people with dementia, particularly from a point of view of regular medication and regular meal times and regular showering times and so forth, particularly because their cognitive faculties are declining and they might well forget. And also the poor old carer may forget as well. You can, with the Alexa, set up a daily running set of alarms, but do note that for contractual reasons which are way beyond my pay grade, Alexa versions which are not using the Amazon proprietary machines cannot do repeated items.
That's the end of this episode of your friendly introduction to AI, and I have been selected to introduce one final demo, which leads you into the final episode, which is all about AI. I am, in fact, an AI-generated image fed into a program called Hydra, and given these lines to speak.
And that's all for this video. If you look and listen carefully, you'll see that this image is not me. It's a still photo manipulated by an AI program called Hydra, and that may be a sign of things to come.